my thoughts on The Wheel of Time as a non-book reader. So, I went into The Wheel of Time the same way that I did Game of Thrones, as a non-book reader. I had never read the books prior to watching the shows, which kind of sucks because I'm a reader, and how the hell did I not come across these books prior to them being turned into television series? Maybe I need to take this up with my local library. At least they had The Lord of the Rings. And if I'm being honest, they probably only had it because the books were already made into movies. So the reader in me is sad that I did not get into these books prior to their screen adaptations, but the TV junkie in me is kinda happy that I didn't. It allowed me not to have any strong feelings for or against the story. I had no expectations of the series, and that is good because we know that when it comes to these things, to have expectations is to open yourself up for disappointment. I was completely ignorant about the source material, therefore I had no connections to the characters and the world that Robert Jordan created. For me, it was just another TV show. A TV show that I will assess based on the merits of what I look for in a TV show, which is entertainment. Simple. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm as simple as they come. So, based on my very low standards, do I love The Wheel of Time? Yes, I absolutely do. I've always enjoyed shows that are based in the fantasy genre, mostly because it takes me out of my reality and transports me into a world of a different time, different people, different morals, different problems. For about an hour or so, I suspend all reality and immerse myself into this made-up world. So, what did I like about the show? Well, first off, most of the characters felt fully developed. We got a sense of what was driving each character, and this was quite clear in the storytelling. We can see where each of the major characters have a reason for what they do. It does not come as a surprise or come off as being done because it's fiction and we can make these people do whatever we feel like, with no regard for continuity and authenticity. For example, Matt not going through the stones. I know this is controversial for book readers, but for me as a non-book reader, it didn't come as a surprise because we see throughout the journey that he had always been worried about his siblings back home. Maybe he wants to get back to them, and I can't blame him. Those parents are unfit. Like, who forgets their children during a Trolloc attack? Also, he could be going back for that dagger. After all that black stuff got pulled from him, there's no way he's completely over that. Also, Matt always came off as a bit unpredictable and unreliable, and seemed like the type to leave his friends in a lurch. I also like the fact that the plot was very clear, like throughout every episode, we're cognizant of what the main purpose is. Identify the Dragon Reborn and defeat the Dark One. We don't get lost or caught up in inconsequential plot lines that doesn't add to the major plot, and everything leads back to the Dragon Reborn and the Dark One. Another aspect that I liked is that I wasn't left depressed as hell, because sometimes these shows tend to get a bit dark. I'm glad that it was, bright and hopeful. Another thing that I really, really enjoyed, there was no gratuitous sex, nudity, or violence throughout the entire season. And that to me was awesome. I'm happy that the show creators didn't feel the need to include such things because we know in a post-GOT world that this kind of stuff was served up to the audience on an episode-by-episode basis. I was afraid that they would think that we would want that. And based on the fact that they were billing the show and hyping it up as the next Game of Thrones, it had me a bit worried that they would try to imitate the worst aspects of Game of Thrones. But I came away pleasantly surprised that they stayed away from that, and any form of sex or partial nudity was done tastefully and respectfully. And I thank the creators for that. If what I'm hearing about the books and the work of Robert Jordan, then the show can be successful based on what is already in the source material, granted with a few alterations for the sake of storytelling. They don't need to try and sensationalize the show to make it more appealing to another fan base. Are there more that I like about this show? Yes, I could go on, but these are the main ones that stands out. Let me know what you like about the show in the comments below.